today? Okay, no problem. Thank you. Santa gets a lot of cookies every year, and so a nibble would be gone here, a nibble here, and a thank you little note. But with these cookies, it doesn't matter if I leave 2 cookies or 10 cookies. When I come downstairs in the morning, all of the cookies are gone. These are worth making just for Santa. These Christmas cookies are so easy. We're going to put the flour, sugar, and salt in together. We're going to mix that together for about 30 seconds until it's mixed. So now we're going to put this on low, and we're going to start adding the butter a piece at a time and get that all mixed in. And this butter has been softened, and we're going to mix this until it turns crumbly and kind of stuck together. These are the Christmas cookies that I've been making for years for my family, and they're like potato chips. When they come visit after I've made them, they just disappear. Okay, we're gonna let that go for about 1 minute to 2 minutes, depending on what it looks like. It'll be closer to 1 minute. I like the way this is looking already. Okay, so I like the way this is looking. It looks kind of like sand. There are no eggs in this, no liquid at all, except for the vanilla. Very interesting recipe, like 5 ingredients. How many ingredients are there really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients. The joy of this is the cream cheese. We're gonna add this to stabilize the dough, and it gives it a lovely tang. And then we're gonna add vanilla. This is my homemade vanilla, and I've actually done a video on this. It's 2 ingredients, really easy. Take a look, it's awesome. We're putting 2 teaspoons of vanilla in. And I'm a vanilla fiend, so I always kind of dribble a little extra in there. Let this go for about 30 seconds. And that looks perfect. We don't want to beat that too much. And then we are going to give this a good mix, just kind of knead it a little bit to get it to hold together. Okay, and I like the way that looks. I'm gonna take that out. Okay, that looks great. Get a knife, and you want to shape this into 2 4-inch balls. Not balls, discs. And so all we're trying to do is spread this out so it cools. We're going to put it in the refrigerator for 20 minutes or so. Okay, we're going to wrap these in plastic wrap. And we'll put these in the refrigerator, and we'll be back. Okay, so I took one of these out of the refrigerator. I'm using parchment paper. It's invaluable. It saves a lot of time. I started using it about 5 years ago, and I don't know how I lived without it. But if you don't have parchment paper, just put a little tiny bit of flour down and you can roll these out and they won't stick. They're so buttery anyway, they probably won't stick. We're gonna roll these out to 1/8 of an inch, and we don't want these to be too thick. They get a little gluggy, and the cookies are just very, very light. And I just keep checking to see how they're doing. And I'm actually gonna take this and give it a little measure. So that's I've got a little bit to go. Okay, we'll do it again. I don't usually measure, I usually just do it, but I want to make sure to tell you exactly what they should look like. Okay, let's see. All right, that's perfect. All right, I'll put this one back in the refrigerator just as it is and get the other one out. I've got those cooling, and we will wait another 10 minutes and then we'll start cutting. I'm gonna make some icing now. This is my favorite icing for these cookies, and this is one of those things I don't use measurements. Probably 2 cups. I'm just dumping some in there to be realistic here. You're gonna drop just a little bit because confectionery sugar just deflates. It's very easy to get too much in there, so it's easier to start with just a little bit at a time and just keep working that. I don't want this to be thin. I want it to be thick. confectionery sugar and moisture just, you know, you can overdo this really quickly. So I just keep going until I get where I want it to be. And that huge pile of sugar ends up being this amount of frosting. That's pretty close to where I want it, but I also know that's not going to be enough, so I'm going to add a little more sugar. And when it gets to almost where I want it to be, I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla here. And the vanilla is also a liquid, so you want to understand that when you add this, it's going to loosen it up as well. And I do this to taste. And see, that's looking exactly how I want it to look. The consistency looks just like canned frosting, which I don't usually use, but it's thick. I'm having a little resistance going through, and I'm going to get a spoon and taste that. That's delicious. I'm going to add a little bit more vanilla though. This is all to taste, and you can't ruin this. If you don't like the consistency, you can add more liquid, you can add more sugar, and you just can't screw it up. So another little trick I have, if you want to really elevate this, and this is the part where you have to be careful, you can put just a teeny, and I'm talking teeny little pinch of salt. And I am giving these away, so I will not double dip today. Perfect. So that is ready for the cookies. I just took these out of the refrigerator. They're nice and cool. They're very easy to handle. And I'm taking the top piece of parchment paper that I used to roll these out and putting it on the cookie sheet. Because I don't have any cookie decorations yet, I am going to make white angels. And you just want to go through and get as many of these in. You just cut them out. Then we'll take a spatula. Take these out and put them on the cookie sheet. And I think we'll call that good for this sheet. You can probably fit more on. They don't spread, but I'm going to just leave them like that. We're going to put them in a 375-degree oven for somewhere between 7 and 10 minutes. I'm going to put it on for 7 minutes, and we'll keep an eye on them. We want the edges to be just slightly turning brown, but in the inside, I'll show you. Okay, so these have cooked almost exactly 7 minutes. I'm very happy with the way these look. They're starting to brown on the edges, and I'm getting a little resistance as I press down on them. They're perfect. I do take these off of the sheet as soon as they come out. I don't want them to cook anymore. Let them cool. There are several of these that came out different colors, and all of these are still perfect. So if you get an extra brown one, like this one is kind of brown all over, the back of that looks perfect. It's got a lovely brown crunch to it. It's still a perfect cookie. This one is very pale. It's still got the brown bottom to it underneath, and all of these are perfect. So you're going to get a little bit of variation in the color, and what you're looking for is just to have that a little bit tender in the middle, so you get a crunch on the outside and soft inside. And then we're going to frost these. I'm keeping this really simple today. Sometimes I pipe these, sometimes I really decorate them up, but what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to show you the easiest way to do this. And we're going to put a little bit of frosting on the middle, and we're just gonna go right up to the edges. Cover those up. You can put as much or as little of this on as you want, but this is my absolute favorite way to do these. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to try to put a video up on cookie decorating that will show you some other ways to do this. And I will have a special guest. And I'm really excited to do that video. Thank you.